Previously on Coach Greg.
You can see peak bicep, peak deltoid. Look at the abdominal development on this woman. All you see is popping out abs six pack. When you can see that amount of back definition, even when posing improperly, that means very lean. Up next, 22-year-old athlete Ivan Long, who one day wants to be a men's physique competitor. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighing in 160 pounds. Quality pounds, looks great. 13% body fat is his estimate. And this is a great natural looking physique, training for 6 years, started at age 16 years of age. Front double bicep, posing in the front of the pool. Guy has great genetics, small waist, wide shoulders, very, very lean. Knees slightly bent, allowing him to properly flex the quads. Has quad development, looks great. Bicep pose out a bit too far. Would like to see hands get closer to the ears. Would make him look better. Kind of looks more like a women's physique pose. Women's physique, hands are more upwards like this, arms up, hands open, bodybuilding more flexed and closer. And as you can see, making a very tight fist. The smaller you can make your hands, the larger it makes your biceps appear. It's all about illusions. The better you can pose, the better you're going to demonstrate your physique. And back double bicep, look at the bumps everywhere. Guy has an amazing back. It's not massive, but the quality is where it's at. Same thing, hands could get closer to the ear, and in this pose, would like to see one leg put backwards so that he could properly engage the hamstrings. And standing relaxed, look at the V taper, wide lats, small waist. You can see the quadricep on the left. You can see how that's bulging out. You can clearly see a visible line. Guy is in very good shape, very lean. Heels slightly elevated off the ground. That allows them to properly engage the calves. If your feet are planted firmly on the ground, it's much harder to flex the calves. When you're standing from the rear, you're showing off everything. From top to bottom, you need to properly flex the calves. By lifting the heel perhaps a few millimeters off the ground, you can more accurately display your calf muscles. And standing relaxed from the front, the shoulders are brought a little bit too far back. He needs to bring them more to the front. As you can see, he's pulling back like this. He would look wider and bigger if he were to get the shoulders more in line. And standing from the side, you don't want to stand like this with your shoulders way back. You want it slightly in line. Imagine someone's throwing a javelin through you. You want the javelin to go through this shoulder, through your upper body, and out the other side. If your shoulders are back, not right. And so don't over-exaggerate leaning back. And so although we don't see all of the poses and he hasn't shaved his legs, I do believe he's closer to 11, at most 12% body fat, definitely under 13%. If he had proper lighting, shaved down, had a darker tan, would definitely look leaner. I also do not believe he has a pump here, just looking flat, relaxed during the day. When you first wake up in the morning, you're going to be a lot leaner, and so very difficult to assess body fat percentage, as you never know. Are they pumped? Are they flat? Have they eaten breakfast? Are they under the best lighting? What about the camera angles? Up next, Christy. She's only 24 years of age. She's 125 to 130 pounds, and she's 5'6", and she does in fact plan to compete. She's only been training for 4 years and has been doing so natural. And first up, the back double bicep, and what I can see is much better lower body development than upper body. The lower body, from the calves, the hamstrings, the glutes, all amazing. Looks fantastic. However, the upper body does appear to have a little bit less muscle. It's a little bit more thin. She could use more development in the arms, shoulders, and overall back. However, lower body on point. And from the front, the first thing I noticed, other than her straight hair, which I like, was the quads. Crazy how massive those quads are. Very lean. She doesn't have a very small waist, and this makes it more difficult to stand out on stage in women's bikini. Typically, they're looking for a very, very small waist with wide shoulders. She does in fact need a lot more development in the shoulders. She has amazing legs. Look at the calves. Even from the front, you can see the muscles popping out on either side. And the abs clearly visible, very lean. However, it's not a small waist. It's going to be an uphill battle, as other girls with similar body fat levels and muscle mass are going to have a smaller waist and perhaps wider shoulders. And if you look at the delts, you don't see the cap delts. The medial, lateral, front heads of the delt clearly needs overall more muscle all over on the shoulders. And so although she has very low body fat levels, probably close to 20% body fat, she does in fact need more muscle. She's standing with no smile, would like to see a smile on the face, in particular in women's bikini. We are judging you based on how you look as well as how you present yourself. And if you're smiling, it certainly presents a more pleasing looking physique. To compensate for not having a very small waist, she will be twisting slightly to the side. That will give the illusion of having a smaller waist. And so although she doesn't have a very small waist to start with, which makes it very difficult to turn pro, she can in fact do very well in a bikini competition because she has the muscle. She's a very pretty girl, looks good, has nice hair. And so overall, with the tan, the conditioning, the muscle, I do think she can do good in bikini. However, winning at the top level without a very small waist is going to be a lot more difficult than if her genetics were blessed with a tiny waist. And from the rear, again, as expected, looks great. If she were doing a proper bikini pose with the arch, glutes would be fantastic, has great leg development. And so from the rear, going to look very good. I would recommend she places her hair over her back, covers the back, as we're not really judging the back so much in a bikini. Pretty much from the rear, it's, do you have great glutes or not? Looking at the hamstrings and calves, obviously, of course, but it's predominantly glutes. And so just based on this photo alone, I do think she would do very good from the glutes perspective. And so she probably won't win the competition, but can certainly place very well. Up next, guy with a ton of muscle, Joshua Nanguzo. He stands 6 feet 2.5 inches tall, as if 6'2" wasn't enough. Only 27 years of age, and in the before photos, 275 pounds. Current weight, 252, estimates to be around 13 to 14% body fat. And in the before photo, probably stands close to 30% body fat. And you can see the guy definitely has a lot of muscle. 6'2.5", 275 pounds. That's a big friggin' dude. And what about in the after, having dropped over 20 pounds of body fat? Well, first up, we see him doing a back double bicep. Look at the muscle on this guy. This guy appears to be a heavyweight bodybuilder. And standing over 6'2", this guy could compete at an amateur at over 240 pounds. He's 252 here. He clearly could diet down, compete in classic physique. Looks like a heavyweight bodybuilder, but has the frame of a classic physique competitor. And you can see from the bottom, very large quads, lots of muscle, huge back, delts, small waist, looks incredible. And standing relaxed, has thick lats, lots of muscle, clearly hanging triceps. Guy is packed with muscle. And from the front double bicep, and as almost always, elbows way too down. Guys, you gotta get some confidence. Bring the elbows up. Get them up there. That bicep has to be higher than the delts. It's too low. You're taking away from what is an impressive physique. Could be even more impressive with proper posing. And I see a tiny waist. He doesn't have extremely low body fat levels, perhaps 13 to 15% body fat, as he did suggest. And look at the quads, the meat on his legs. The guy has a ton of muscle, could be an amazing competitor. If he keeps dieting down, this guy gonna rock the stage with no doubts. And as you can see, such a small waist, and currently has a body fat percentage probably higher than the 13 he estimates, closer to 15+% body fat. He does still have a significant amount of fat he can lose. And so clearly has a lot of muscle, looks great, and is over 15% body fat. This guy, I know it sounds crazy, but he could lose about 30 pounds to get into contest condition. He's 252 pounds. As a competitor, probably be closer to 220. But imagine this guy at standing 6'2", 220 pounds of muscle with a small waist and these kind of proportions. Imagine how he would do on a classic physique stage. Up next, we have 25-year-old Joel Quinn Canet, who's about 6 feet tall, states he's 238 pounds and about 29% body fat. He's lost about 10% body fat on his journey, still trying to lose more weight. And let's see, what body fat do I have him at? And standing from the rear, he does seem to have leaner legs, but is carrying a significant amount of body fat on the lower abdominal area on the sides. This is a picture-perfect example of where most men store their body fat. Most men are leaner in the legs and store more weight around the waist. That gives you an apple shape. In comparison, most women, a pear shape. We're going to have more fat in the hips and thighs. But as you can see, Guy has a small waist. And so you might not think he has great genetics. I do think his genetics are actually way above average. Very small waist, has a V shape. If he were to drop even more body fat, that V shape would become even more prevalent. And from the front, you can see the same thing. The waist comes down like this, and the fat comes out to the side. That is where men mostly store their body fat. And so as he drops from 29% to 19% and so on, it's going to give him an even greater V shape. with wider shoulders, capped delts, and a small waist, that would be exactly what you'd be looking for in a men's physique competitor. And so all he has to do is continue to train, add on more muscle to the shoulders, shrink down the waist, and he will have that V shape that most men are looking for. And as you can see from the side, he does have more body fat than would be ideal, but he's not really that far out of shape. He doesn't have a waist sticking out past his chest. If he were morbidly obese, his waist would look significantly bigger, would be protruding much farther than his chest. He's flexing the arms, elbows up properly, showing the arms off exactly as you would expect. However, not flexing the quads. I do believe he has great quads. He's just not flexing them. He's just standing relaxed, feet close together. If he were flexing the quads, flaring them out, you could see the development on the legs that he possesses. And as you can see, the guy's got surgery. He has clearly a scar. He hurt himself in the past, and so he had to overcome obstacles. And so if you get injured, don't give up. Don't quit. You can still do it. Do the best you can to train around your injuries, and sooner or later, the injury will be healed. You'll be able to train harder than last time. You want to see more of these, be the first to see it right away, subscribe and click the bell button. Also, you want to subscribe to my newsletter. You can become part of these videos, doing tons of various videos, body fat, also giving giveaways. I have a free training program, close to 20 pages. Could have been charging for this, giving it away for free just for becoming a newsletter subscriber. Try to help you to get in the shape of your life. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed learning more about body fat percentages. People seem to be highly educated. They're guessing pretty much bang on for the most part. Ending it here. GregDoucette.com for coaching. Greg Doucette, IB Pro. Please check out the bloops. And as always, harder than last time supplements. Get those terkesterone, creatine, protein powder, all kinds of stuff. Please click the link in the description. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment for the algorithm. Don't forget, I have a freaking cookbook, training books, coaching plans by me and my team. You can get those. Click the link in the description. Also, the Circle Diet book, please click the link in the description. How many times do I got to tell you? Click the link, click it now, subscribe, become part of the newsletter, and get the free training program. And until next time, I am out.